Just a quick reminder before we begin. This podcast is for education and reflection, not therapy. Now with that said, welcome to another episode of Kickin It with Dr. Kelz. Thanks for checking us out. I hope you enjoy today's episode. Your pain explains your behavior, but it doesn't excuse it forever. And as a reminder, you or your business could have sponsored this episode. Contact Dr. Kelz for more information. Now sit back and let's kick it.
Hey everybody, it is your girl, Dr. Kelz, and I am checking in for another podcast episode. Thank you for joining me today for episode 8, where your pain explains your behavior, but it doesn't excuse it forever. If you've been following me on social media, you know I kind of been on one. And I think this is going to be a pretty good one because the response has been interesting. When do we start taking accountability for our behavior? When do we stop playing the blame game for the things that we don't like in our lives? Please hold. It's been interesting. I don't know if you guys can see, one of my eyebrows is messed up. But we gonna rock it out, right? Ain't nothing I can do about it, and I'm not even gonna try to. But try to keep these lips hydrated as we move forward. But I've been on one. I feel like I had some stuff to say about this, and I think this is a topic that I think everybody wants to see because there's been a lot of chatter with my Facebook post. So I think this makes people uncomfortable. It is so easy to blame people for your actions. And I want to be clear. I'm not talking about things that happen to you that create natural responses that you need to undo, right? Like maybe hypervigilance, your trauma, things like that. I'm talking about maladaptive, dysfunctional behavior that people try to put on someone else because they don't want to take accountability for the choices that they're making in their life. That is what I'm talking about. The only person that is responsible for your behavior is you. It is not your ex. It is not your parents, your children. It's not even your trauma. Your behavior can be explained by an event, but it doesn't give you the excuse to take that and embrace it and throw it on everyone else. So before I even get into this, I just have to do some self-disclosure in this. This is something that's near and dear to me. I am not exempt from any of this. If I haven't walked through some of the things that I've been through and walked the walk, I can't talk the talk, right? So if I can't be real with myself, how am I going to sit here and be real with you? So when things happen to you, like it doesn't matter. No, I'm not trying to take that from you. I'm not trying to say that it's irrelevant, that it doesn't have a role in shaping your life. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the behavior that comes and people trying to place the blame on someone, something for what they do. That's where I believe there's a problem. I think it takes a level of maturity to recognize that you have to be the one to take this problem by the horns and deal with it. That means processing what happened to you. That means learning new strategies to cope with what happened to you. It means all those things. It doesn't mean be a jerk. It doesn't mean overindulge, do terrible things, and then blame it on something else. So I just want to give a little story, a little feedback, insight rather. If you follow me, some of you are like new to me, but if you do follow me, you'll see every now and again something happens where Some of my friends will go back and forth. One in particular, he always laughs and he's like, "You're mean. You were mean. Mean, mean, mean." I'm not mean. I'm passionate. Right? I wasn't mean. I can be very direct. I'm not mean. He's not the only one who says I'm mean. So let's start there. He's not the only one that says I'm mean. And if I'm being honest, I would have random people walk by me and tell me, "You're too pretty for your face to look like that," right? Or, um, "Why do you have that look on your face?" Just random people. So I was used to being called mean in my earlier time. So I'm telling you that to tell you this. If everybody is saying the same thing about you, even people that don't know you or they don't know each other and they're saying the same thing about you, then there has to be some truth in it, right? Because you are projecting something, you are showing something, you're giving off some type of energy. You are doing something that people that don't even know each other are saying about you. Okay, so if everybody's saying I'm mean, if everybody's saying that I have a tight face, what am I going to do about it? I fought it for years. I'm not mean. I'm not mean. Okay, maybe I was. When you know better, you do better, right? And it starts when people start telling you about yourself, whether you want to admit it or whether you're ready to admit it in that moment. The reality is it's right there, bam, smack, it's in your face. So I've learned that I was not mean, even though it was coming off as mean. I was just very angry. I was angry at everything. I was angry at everyone. Whatever my trauma experiences were, whatever my life experiences were that shaped me, they shaped me into a very angry person. Angry. Um, you can ask my kids, they will tell you, um, you know, gangster rap. Um, I know the most inappropriate lyrics in the songs. Um, the more aggressive, the better. Like that's how I lived my life. I was so angry and I didn't realize how angry I was. So fast forward through like all these years of people saying, "You're mean." Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be mean. I wasn't doing it intentionally. It was brought to my attention. I wasn't ready to hear it. I wasn't ready to see it. And I had to fix it, right? So I'm smiling, but I'm still mean. And that's okay. I fixed it. I had to do something about it. I got tired of it. I got tired of people saying it. I wanted to understand why people were saying it. And it's funny, I didn't know how angry I was until I was not angry anymore. So there's a benefit of fixing it. There is a benefit of trying to figure out the root of it. The point that I'm trying to make is if everybody's saying it, there has to be some truth in it. Another place that, I had to listen and understand, try to understand is I'll never forget, when I was going through my divorce and after I got out of my divorce, my kids would say, "Well, Mom, you were there, but you weren't there." And I'm like, I don't even understand what that means. Like, y'all bugging. I never missed a beat. I was here. It wasn't until I came out of that bedroom 2 years later that I realized how absent I was, how I was just surviving, doing my day-to-day tasks, getting the kids where they need to be, make sure everyone ate, did all the things that parents were supposed to do. And then I was exhausted and I would just go, I'd leave the door open, I'd go lay in the bedroom. And that's how I lived my life. I was emotionally and physically exhausted. So I had to accept that. And then, of course, the guilt comes, that, oh, wow, I never intentionally meant to be absent from my children or hurt my children. But the reality of the situation is I did. I had to take accountability for that. I had to sit with it. I had to apologize for it because it's easy. It would have been so easy for me to blame my ex-husband for the state that I was in. But the reality is that's how I coped. Those were the decisions that I made. And sometimes I made them and didn't even realize the impact or what I was doing. So I'm just setting the stage for what I want to get into tonight and talk about because it's so important. At some point, you have to stop blaming people. Um, we blame our parents for what we had and what we didn't have. You cannot, as a mature adult, move forward or not move forward, should I say, without releasing some of that to say, you know what? My parents were people too. The people around me, maybe someone faulted me. They were a person too. You give so much of your power away when you get stuck allowing the blame to be put on someone else when the reality of the situation is, yes, your live experience happened. It did happen to you, but you get to control your choices and your outcome. And when you choose not to, that's on you. It's not on anyone else. So when you're playing this blame game and people don't want to be around you, it's because there's no validation in it. The validation is in your lived experience. It's not in your behavior. You can't say, my neighbor got on my nerves. That's why I went and drank a 30 pack. You can't say, um, the people I work with drive me crazy. So I'm going to get so high that I don't remember anything till I get up the next day. Those are personal choices. They're personal choices. Could they contribute to your stress? Oh, yes, absolutely they could. But that's not why you're engaging in the behavior you're engaging in. You're engaging in it because that's what you choose to do. So blaming other people is so easy. It becomes a trap. You get stuck in this trap like the Venus flytrap. Y'all like my mug? That's how I be feeling. That's how I was looking angry. Y'all see that? Blaming people is comfortable. It protects your ego, lets you avoid the mirror. As long as I can blame, I don't have to look at myself and not look at yourself like you allowed something to happen to you. That's not what I'm saying. So don't try to flip it, turn it around, right? Because I was chatting in a Facebook post earlier today and we were talking about like this narcissism, you know. Don't flip it, don't gaslight, don't try to turn it around. No, don't do that. Just take accountability and own your stuff because, child, nobody likes your misery. You're not going to get company over here. And people grow up and they mature and they're like, you know what? I don't even need this stuff anymore. They don't want to be around you. So when everything in your life is someone else's fault, it's like you just give your power away. So you mean to tell me that you're allowing some person that hurt you or did something to you or contributed to a negative experience, you're letting that person have all the power to in your life to do what they want to do, right? To put you in this horrible place. Um, I don't like where I live. I don't like the job I have. What are you doing about it? I'm blaming my mom because she didn't have money to send me to college. Okay, well, there are things you can do to make money that you don't have to go to college. So it's a cycle. It's like a hamster wheel that you don't have to be on. Um, If you start thinking things like, I'm like this because of them, or I can't change because of what happened to me, um, this is just who I am, please, it's not true. Okay. Um, you're not your trauma. You're not the negative things that happen to you in your life. So this is the encouragement part, right? Because I don't just want to be all up in your face. And I'm hoping people start chiming in here and they start talking about what we're talking about. But I don't want to like be all up in your face. I'm not trying to put you out there. I'm trying to encourage you to say, you know what? I'm going to take control of my life. I'm going to get a hold of this. I'm going to fix it because that's what's best for me. Um, avoiding it, avoiding the work, avoiding you being accountable for what you're doing and putting that work in to fix it. That's the excuse of blaming people. Um, I'm starting to do a little research while I'm doing these. Kind of helps a little bit. So I remember early on I told you guys, I was just gonna try to just like wing it, whatever the case may be. And it's not always the case. And I'm still thinking about just taking the face component off of this and just going voice. We'll see how it goes. But for now, I'm in it. I'm invested, and I'm going to try to figure out what is going to work best for me. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. So um, there are some things that some phrases people use that I want to address when it comes to the blame game, right? Um, my trauma made me this way. Yeah, your trauma did shape you. It sure did. A while back, it's probably been like a year. I've been at this for a while. If I can find it, I'll repost it. I talked to you about an ACE study, adverse childhood experiences.
3 types of ACEs: abuse, neglect, dysfunctional household.
And I even read the 10 questions. I can post them. I can refine that video, but
The 10 ACE questions. Did you feel that you didn't have enough to eat, had to wear dirty clothes, or had no one to protect you? Did you lose a parent through divorce, abandonment, death, or other reason? Do you live with anyone who was depressed, mentally ill, or attempted suicide? Did you live with anyone who had problems with drinking or using drugs, including prescription drugs? Did your parents or adults in your home ever hit, punch, beat, or threaten to harm each other? Did you live with anyone who went to jail or prison? Did a parent or adult in your home ever swear at you, insult you, or put you down? Did a parent or adult in your home ever hit, beat, kick, or physically hurt you in any way? Did you feel that no one in your home or in your family loved you or thought you were special? Did you experience unwanted sexual contact, such as fondling, oral, anal, vaginal intercourse, penetration?
it talks about the more adverse childhood experiences you have, the higher risk you are for poor wellness, right? Whether it be mental health, whether it be physical health, things like that. So the more adverse things that happen to you as a child, yes, they do impact your development. Absolutely, they do. Um, but explaining the trauma, explaining a behavior is not the same thing as the trauma excusing your behavior. So again, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that every person in this world has had some type of trauma experience, whether the trauma happened directly to them, whether the trauma was witnessed. Some people are traumatized just by turning on the news if they catch them all, even the internet, like not being regulated. The things that you can see online is very terrifying. So I am going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say everybody has trauma. Um, if you say that your trauma is the final answer for you, that's never going to open the door for healing. It's never going to open a door for healing. So I hope that you're not saying that. Um, it's only a part of your life. Another thing people say is, this is just how I am. That was me. That was so me on so many levels. This is how I am. You deal with it. Well, yeah, I don't know about that. People don't have to deal with it. And when they get older, they really don't deal with it. I feel like in my younger years, I was like more tolerant of people's crap than what I am in my adult years. It's like I had to put the work in. I need you to put the work in too, so we can grow together. So, um, when you say that's just how I am, it, it's given no self-awareness or avoidance. Either or, it could be avoidance, either or. Um, Something people say after they've been confronted about their behavior. I'm just blunt. I'm just like that. I'm like that, y'all. I'm like that. Um, I've always been this way. That's the first thing I said when I came on here today, right? I'm just blunt, direct, to the point. No, it's not okay. And if you're okay with being like that, I had to ask myself, was I okay like that? Like, I don't want people to say these things about me. That she's mean. She's a sweetheart, but she's mean. Wow, that's two opposite ends of the spectrum, right? I don't want to be both. Um, Behavior is learned, which means that new behavior can be learned. Sometimes we say, oh, it took this long to learn it and it'll take this long to unlearn it. Well, it's really relearn something else, something different. Um, People should accept me the way I am. The Mary J song just popped in my head. I would sing for you guys, but yeah, I don't know how that's going to go. Take me as I am. Yes and no. People should love you unconditionally. They really should, but that's healthy relationships. It's not it's relationships that, like there's acceptance involved, right? Like, okay, I do love you unconditionally, but that does not give you an open door to wreak havoc in my life and everybody else's life. Like, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that because I love you, I have to tolerate your stuff. I'm allowed to put boundaries up to keep my sanity. So are you. We all can. Um, Nobody has to understand that boundary. But when enough is enough, enough is enough. Um, They have like I don't know if you guys ever seen the shows, the intervention shows, right? Where the whole family like shows up and they run up on the person and they're like, oh, we're all here. We want to support you. The person ends up going out on into whatever program they need or whatever the case may be. I don't know, but they end up doing it. So um to me, that's what it's all about. So um there is real psychology behind the blame game. And if you've been following me and you've been watching, when I edit, like I put little pictures up when I talk about stuff, I insert it in there so you can go look at it. So I will be doing that. So um, Julian Rotter in 1966 introduced the concept of external locus of control and internal locus of control. External and internal locus of control. So the external is you believe your life is controlled by outside forces. And the internal locus, you believe your actions influence the outcomes. So you are you an external person or are you an internal person? Research consistently shows that people who have that stronger internal focus of control or locus of control, I'm sorry, those that have the strong internal are better coping skills, better psychological resilience, stronger problem-solving abilities, higher life satisfaction. Um, when you stay stuck and you other people, you're stuck in that external locus of control, which research links to higher stress and lower well-being. So if you're choosing to allow people, places, and things to dictate you and what you do, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're definitely setting yourself up for failure. One of the therapy modalities that I use when I do counseling is CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. And I like cognitive behavior therapy because CBT always like forces you to um, reframe your thinking, right? It looks at um, these messages that you have been living with since you've been younger, these automatic thought processes. How do we get to these places that we're thinking these negative things? So CBT basically says that your thoughts impact your feelings, which impact your actions, your behavior, right? So all it is, CBT. So you're constantly challenging your thoughts, you're putting them on trial, you are asking, where is the evidence? And that's a very minimal, right? There's so much more to it than that, but the cognitive triangle is very basic. It's just appropriate for what we're talking about right now. So just bear with me. So working on changing how you perceive the world. How do you perceive the world? How do you perceive yourself in the world? Again, if you are always blaming everybody for your stuff, you're going to have a hard time. Your behavior is going to be negative. It's not going to be positive. Learned helplessness. Constantly allowing negative things to wear you down. It could put you in a place of learned helplessness where you think that you can't do anything about it, but you can. Maybe you're in an abusive relationship and you have to heal and repair what the narcissist took from you. There are so many levels to this, and I'm just bringing attention to it and awareness to it. I am not giving this the 100% attention it needs, right? We don't have enough time. But I encourage you to, and that's what this is all about. Find a good therapist, find somebody that's going to be objective with you. I constantly put stuff out about what therapy is and what therapy is not. A therapist isn't going to tell you how to fix your life. A therapist is going to help you figure out what's best for you. Therapists don't give advice. They listen. They ask you questions. They get you thinking about the plan, and then they support you. That's what good therapists do. They're not forcing you to do work you're not ready to do. They're not forcing you into trauma and talking about trauma. That's all your choice. It's all your choice. We're doing good. Got a good time going on here today. Proud of myself. I'm getting better. I am getting better. I'm excited. I'm using my tools. I'm using my tools. I'm getting better. So, beginning to take accountability for your actions will set you free. It will open up doors that have been closed for you in your life. When you stop looking at the world from a half empty lens instead of a half full one. That cup. We can't appreciate what we have because we're always looking at what's wrong or what we don't have, right? Learning optimism. You can learn that. You don't have to be a pessimist your whole life. You don't have to let your life tragedies and horrible lived experiences define what your adulthood is. We're not promised tomorrow or the next day, not even 5 minutes from now. We are not promised these things. So you're wasting time. I know it's scary. I know it is totally scary. I know it is. It's hard too. It's real hard because you have to come up with some hard truths. How did I get here? How did this happen? How did I let this part of it happen? Right? Be responsible to yourself. Trauma is definitely real. But again, it does not give you permission to annihilate the people around you. Living in a level of dysfunction that is normal to you and everybody else in your house is scary. You're creating dysfunction by allowing dysfunction. Dysfunction is comfortable. Most people don't even realize how dysfunctional they are. I think I did something like last year talking about like messages, that we convey to our children that people believe are dysfunctional. What happens in our house stays in our house. That's a dysfunctional message that many of us have said or have heard, been told. So healing requires work. Imagine, right? And again, I'm challenging you to look at yourself. Think about what you do that's maladaptive. Think about what it is that you're doing that people maybe say things to you about. Maybe you don't communicate how you feel. Just think about it. You have something in mind? Imagine what your life would look like if you were able to do the opposite or you didn't do it anymore. What did your life look like in a time that maybe you didn't do it? Let's collect the data. Was your life better? Was it worse? Before you started doing whatever it is that you're doing that people say, I'm a lot happier when I was able to realize how angry I was. Definitely a lot happier. I had to look at a lot of themes in my life and a lot of things that came up in order for me to say, you know what? I want to be happy. I want to have joy. I don't want to walk around miserable and my face, all tore up. I already got these wrinkles coming all up in my face. I don't want that. If you really, really want to heal, self-reflection is required. Not just honesty, uncomfortable honesty. I'm not talking half truth, because when you withhold information, in my opinion, you're still lying. Don't withhold the information. Who are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to convince? The people you are tormenting from your behavior? Or yourself? Maybe it's both. Only you can answer that question. Um, Healing requires you to break cycles and change patterns. I had to learn how to do that too. And man, oh man, it was hard. Oh, oh, it was so hard. How about increasing your emotional vocabulary? If you're always living in, I'll use me as an example, right? If I'm always living in anger, I don't know anything else. So when I had to start getting honest about what was brewing underneath, where's this anger coming from? Is it really anger that I'm feeling? No, it's not. It's so easy to be angry. And I've said this before too, if you've been following me. If not, go back and look at it. Anger is easy. It's so easy. What I was really feeling was hurt, betrayed, disrespected, unheard, not seen, unappreciated. So much easier to say I'm pissed off than to tell somebody, you really hurt my feelings today. I really feel unappreciated. I will never sit here and tell you to go do something because, what's that phrase? Easier said than done? It is. But I'm talking to you from a place that I did it and I was able to get through it and I was able to understand what was fueling what everybody was saying. It didn't feel good. Feeling abandoned, never feeling protected. I could go on and on. You'd be surprised what a good therapist would do and some good friends. So it's hard. It's hard. It's hard not to get in a place where you're making false promises to people. Be like Nike, just do it. Stop talking about it. Um, People get tired of hearing, I'm going to change, I'm going to change. Eventually, the people around you are going to say, they're not going to change, so I'm going to change because I've been enabling this stuff. And now it needs to stop because I can't live like this anymore. People around you will change. They'll spin off and they're going to leave you standing where you are if you don't start taking accountability for your actions. It's so hard. Oh, it's so hard. I'm not even going to sit here. But stop spewing the false promises. Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to slow down. I'm not even going to engage in that anymore. I'm going to smile a little bit more. Still not getting to the core. It's not genuine. Sometimes just shuffling your feet just a little bit is a move in the right direction. There are so many self-help books out there on any topic you would think of. We are in a digital age. You can go on YouTube, TikTok, I don't care, anywhere. You can find something for what you struggle with. It's no excuse. The only excuse is, okay, I just thought about this. Maybe you don't have the courage to change. Maybe you're afraid of what your life is going to look like if you do change. I'll tell you what, it's going to be better than what it is now. Stop giving false promises because then you're letting the people down around you if you're not trying. And trying doesn't mean Oh, I'm not going to do it for a day and then be right back at it. Oh, I'm not going to cuss everybody out in my house today and then I'm going to smile and laugh and then tomorrow be right back at it. No, you got to make a plan. When you make real change, the people around you notice. They might not internalize it the way you do. Well, it all depends on what your issue is, right? So, somebody smokes marijuana, I don't know, and they stop smoking. You see that immediately, right? Like that's an immediate change. Someone who is struggling with, I don't know, jealousy, you're not going to see that right away. There's going to be some work that needs to be done. Um, you'll see harm reduction approaches. Like when it comes to like substance uses and things like that, it's not the same for everyone. It's the same concept, but it's not the same of what it looks like. Um, as an adult, you have a responsibility to mature and grow. You can't say stay stuck in what your parent did to you when you were 10 years old and use it as the reason why you can't go to work or why your life sucks or why you don't have anything or why you abuse substances. They're excuses because that you can control. And it's going to be harder to control some things than others, but you can control that. Okay. You can control that. So, do you want to grow? Or do you want to stay comfortable in your excuses? Only you can make that decision. It takes courage to admit that you need help. It takes vulnerability. I have to remove the fear. And everything isn't for everybody. You engaging in some type of a healthy change, removing the excuses in your life, it doesn't mean that you have to explain it to everybody and talk to everybody. You don't have to do that. It's not what I'm saying. No way. It could be a personal thing. It could be a struggle nobody knows about that you even do, right? Everything isn't public. I'm not talking about these overt things. Um, They could be internal. They could be internal battles, internal struggles that nobody even knows. You could be a person that suffers from depression and no one knows. High anxiety, no one knows because you're walking around smiling like everything is fine. And when you get in the comfort of your home and your dysfunction, you're comfortable. It's safe, right? You can have both. You can grow, you can take ownership, you can take accountability. Um, when you do something or you hurt someone, saying things like, "Oh, let me uh, plug in the charger here." Saying things like, "I handled that wrong," or "I need to work on that," or "I need to do better." You have to have action. But does the Bible say faith without works is dead? You got to have action. You have to do something. You have to do something. Your life depends on it. You got to do something. The quality of life for some of you depends on it. The quality of life for the people around you depends on it. It depends on it. You don't have to be defensive when someone is telling you what you're doing. They love you. They care about you. I say this all the time. Um, you don't have to shift the blame. You don't have to flip it around and say it's you. You. When I taught health, I used to tell my kids, somebody can make you angry, but you can't blame them for punching them in the face. That's your action. That's your action. You chose to do that. Yes, the person did make you upset. But you could have walked away. You could have went and blew off some steam. You could have handled it other ways. That was the way you chose to do it. And that is the foundation of this entire message today. What you chose to do. My last thought, and then I'm going to wrap it up. You can't always be the victim. You can't always be the victim. How about be the survivor? How about that? When you blame people, you're making yourself the victim. I don't want to be the victim. I want to be a survivor. I want to get through something. Most people that go through adversity use it as a stepping stone to propel them to the next level. When you go through things, it helps you go through the next set of things. As long as you walk this earth, it's always going to be something. Stop blaming people for your messiness. Life happened to you. Life happened to me. Life happened to the person on the other end of this video. Life happens. Stop blaming people and start putting in that work. Put the work in. Put it in. Your ownership is your power. You just might not see it because you're scared. You're afraid. I understand that too. And I know what that looks like. I am nowhere near where I need to be, but I am so far away from what I needed to get away from. And that's the mentality that you need to have in order to grow. Take your power back. Take it back by owning your mess, because misery does not want your company. If you refuse to take the accountability, you're going to be lonely. You're going to be lonely, and you're going to continue spiraling in this cycle alone. The people that love you are going to part like the Red Sea. They're going to disappear, and you're going to be alone. They're going to distance themselves from you because dysfunction is exhausting. The dysfunction is killing them. It's breaking their heart. You know, people die from broken hearts. You don't, now you do. People can support you, and they will support you. They will. They absolutely will. If you want to stop blaming people for your actions. People will support you, but they can't fix you. You can only fix yourself. You can only carry your own growth. You are the only one that can step into your healing. I'm just checking my notes to make sure I said everything to you that I wanted to say to you. I don't want to leave anything out. Own your behavior. Stop blaming people for the choices that you continue to make. Your pain does deserve the compassion, but people aren't going to continue to be beat up trying to support you in your healing journey if you don't want to make change. Um, your childhood, your lived experiences have shaped who you are. And your choices can reshape that person if you don't like it. That's the best part about it. If you don't like something in your life, change it. That is simple. The work is hard, but that is simple. You have to make a choice to change the pattern. And in order to change the pattern, you have to admit that you have one. You just have to admit that you have one. All right. I think I'm good. I think I've said everything that I needed to say. Let's spin the block one more time with my headlines. I'm so proud of myself. Here we go. Pop my name up there. My name is Dr. Kelly Cornish, aka Dr. Kelz. I am the owner of 318 Wellness Hub. And I pray that you are well and you are blessed. And if you've been following me, you always know I end with grace, peace, and blessings over your life. And again, I pray you're healing. I pray you take accountability. I hope that something that I said in here flipped the switch in you. Find a good counselor. Find a good program if you need one. Find a good support group. And if anybody that has watched this today, if you want to come on and do a live with me and we talk about this some more about accountability, because I have another area that I want to go down with this, let me know. Who in your life or who are you witnessing the blame game with? How do you get unstuck? Well, step number one, decide that you need a change and you want to change. And then go find yourself a good therapist. Like I said, a good support group, a good program, whatever that looks like for you, I need you to go do that. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, this is episode 9. I'm getting better. I'm getting stronger over here. And I appreciate you coming in again and just being with me and kicking it with Dr. Kelz. So grace, peace, and blessings over your life. I pray you well, and I will see you on the next podcast episode.